Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yep, what's good, original crew, man? We're back today, man. Hey, we got a Just Thought Lounge. See, you didn't see this coming that we're going to do Just Thought Lounge.
First.
Yeah.
Yeah, answer me.
Who are you? Huh? Who are you talking about? Answer me. You act like you got some kids or something. I mean, what? You don't.
I was about to say that, but I mean, still, it's respectful.
But you know, it's the way you came at me, though.
I just said answer me.
But it's the way you came at me, you know. But today, man, we got the brutal murder of James Berry. I ain't gonna hold you. When he be putting names on it, I don't be knowing. But sometimes when I hear the story, I'm like, I'm familiar. I don't be knowing the names, though.
I feel you.
But hey, with that being said, before we get into it, make sure y'all check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go if you want to first support. All you gotta do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's video,
like it with a thumbs up.
Let's get it, baby. Let's check it out. Let's see what's about. You ready?
Alrighty.
All right, let's go.
At 1 a.m. on a November night in 2016, a family in Loxahatchee, Florida, awoke to a real-life nightmare. A horrific scene, screams to call 911, and a young man dying in his bedroom. From the house emerged 3 survivors, a distraught mother, her boyfriend, and the best friend. But it was a 4th person, they claimed, who had made their way inside the locked house in the middle of the night, committed the murder, and escaped. Hi there, I'm Kevin, and welcome to Just Thought Lounge. Today's case takes some unexpected turns. It's full of disputed evidence, shocking statements, and false allegations. In the end, the truth is unsettling, but undeniable. Let's take a look. At just before 1 a.m. on November 16, 2016, an emergency call was placed from a home on Glasgow Drive in Loxahatchee, Florida. The caller, 56-year-old Nicola Berry, was frantic. She had awoken to a chaotic scene and found her son, 21-year-old James, injured in his bedroom. When deputies arrived, they found 3 adults in the home with James. His mother, Nicola, who had placed the call to 911, her live-in boyfriend, Guy Hand, as well as James's best friend, Jeff Jarzbakowski, who was just staying the night. Inside the house, responders found James on his bed. Guy was diligently performing CPR when EMTs rushed in. They transferred him to the floor and continued life-saving efforts. Unfortunately, it was too late. 21-year-old James Berry was declared dead at the scene. He had suffered multiple stab wounds, including fatal injuries to his chest. Nicola, Guy, and Jeff were escorted from the house to the roadside, where a neighbor met them to provide comfort. Both Guy and Jeff carried signs of the brutal attack, stains on their hands, arms, and elsewhere. Both had been attempting to perform life-saving measures on James before EMTs arrived. In the house, responders found a carving knife with a white handle and a 10-inch curved blade. It was bloodied and sitting on the kitchen counter. Moving through the kitchen and down the hallway towards the bedrooms, a trail led to where James was found by emergency responders. As they waited for detectives to arrive on scene, the group outside began to speculate and piece together what they believed happened only moments earlier. In spite of the shock and confusion of the night's events, a consensus began to emerge almost immediately. Someone else must have entered the house while they slept, and that someone had to have been James's 19-year-old girlfriend, Melanie Eam. James had been messaging with Melanie earlier that night, Jeff said, and there had been an argument. According to Jeff, James had been trying to break things off. Sometime around 8 or 8:30, Melanie had turned up at the house, uninvited. Though she left at that time, she must have returned.
And then he saw her out there, and he texted her telling her to go away. She saw your car, and she pulled in here, and she backed up, and she went that way. She didn't get out of the car, unless someone was driving her. How does she know how to get through the unlocked door when there is no key?
Here, talk to Jeff.
2 nights ago, she came in over here again, and then James heard and thought someone was trying to break in, and then he saw her when he looked out the window, and then he texted her saying, go away or we're done, we're over, go away. This is disrespectful.
So why didn't he tell me that?
He just told me today, like right before I fell asleep.
Tell me that. Jesus.
God.
I have a psycho living in
She's always been fucking psycho, always.
She killed him. She...
Do y'all want her address?
We'll have detectives coming out. They'll talk to you when they get here, okay?
Guy reported that he locked all of the doors to the house every night. If James had already told Melanie to leave once, it's unlikely he let her in later. So, how did Melanie get inside? There was no sign of forced entry to the home. The front door was locked. So was a side door connecting to the patio. A back door, however, sat open. No one could deduce how Melanie would have been able to unlock that door initially to enter the house. Guy speculated that perhaps she had stolen a key, or alternatively, she had broken in through the garage.
And if she stole a key, she would know if she took a key off the key ring. She wouldn't have time to put that key back on the key ring, would she? Is she that fucking smart?
You know what? That would actually make perfect sense. Because I remember waking up. I'm not sure what time it was, but it was probably like 11 or 12.
So he must have come out to meet her, and she has a knife ready.
Yeah, she come in the front door.
Yeah, that's why the front door
that
is
actually
open.
makes perfect sense.
It appeared that the attack began in the kitchen and led into the bedroom. The presumed murder weapon, the carving knife, likely carried back into the kitchen and left behind. Investigators rapidly determined that the knife had been taken from inside the house. It was one from Guy's collection. A butcher by trade, he owned several larger blades that were kept in the home. Indeed, Guy had used this very knife only hours earlier to carve their roast for dinner. Its usual place was the second drawer down in the kitchen, next to the stove.
And you said those knives were hidden, right?
Yeah.
No, they're in the second drawer by the refrigerator.
Right.
That's very specific. So
She knows
where my knives are. I keep
there.
2 knives in there, a 8-inch one and then a 12-inch one.
and she knows that house better than anyone.
Outside, near to the open back door on the patio table, investigators spotted a cell phone in a pink case. Near to the phone, there were drops of a blood-like substance. Later, tests would confirm these small stains were blood, and that cell phone was Melanie Eam's. James Barry and Melanie Eam had been high school sweethearts. They had started their relationship as friends, belonging to the same social circle at school. They shared a love of gaming and spent many hours playing together. After some time, James eventually worked up the confidence to ask Melanie on a date. From there, their romance moved quickly. The two were inseparable. James's older sister, Alexandra, reported that the family was initially thrilled for James and embraced Melanie. A shy and generally quiet young girl, she enjoyed baking at their house and cooking special meals for James and the family to share. Following his parents' divorce when he was a child, James lived with his mother and eventually her boyfriend, Guy, as well. In the years before his death, Melanie would spend major holidays with James's family at the house in Loxahatchee. When he graduated from high school, James went on to study at Palm Beach College. This move reportedly prompted Melanie to do the same. Though she was younger than him, she was able to leave school, obtain her GED, and then follow her boyfriend into the same program.
Oh, that in this sense alone is crazy. You're not even done with school yet. You like, but I'm gonna leave with you, so I'm gonna just obtain my No,
I'm not doing that.
like, it's already like a sense of control or a sense of like, you know. I need to know her background, cause it's like kind of like attachment issues.
Her boyfriend into the same program. After 2 years together, the couple were as close as ever, perhaps too close.
Facts.
Their relationship had descended into an on-again, off-again roller coaster of highs and lows, always together and then breaking up. Messages exchanged between them in the hours before the murder showed James trying to distance himself once again. In fact, he wanted to break up. This time, it seems, he meant to stick to it. While he played games with Jeff at home, he was also active on a gaming app where he wrote to Melanie. It might be better for us to split and just focus on ourselves rather than worrying about each other constantly. Melanie had been reportedly unreasonably jealous over one of James's ex-girlfriends. That night, he wrote, "But honestly, are you and me really happy? I'm not going back to my ex. Don't worry about that at all. It's something we need to look at and accept. We're not happy." James's honest reflection on the state of their relationship was met with denial from Melanie. "I thought you are happy with me before the past few days," she wrote. Her confusion may have stemmed from a previous conversation they had in person, because James responded, "Melanie, I type my feelings better than explaining them in real life. I'm not happy at all anymore. Thanks for leaving me through a league chat," she wrote. Though the messages carried a sense of finality, investigators believed that Melanie was not willing to accept the breakup and leave things as they stood. James may not have wanted to discuss his feelings in person, but his ex-girlfriend certainly did. 3 hours after she sent that last message, past midnight on the 16th, her car was spotted parked in front of James's house on Glasgow Drive. While law enforcement assessed the scene, they also sought out Melanie Eam. She was not located at the home she shared with her parents. They expressed surprise that the police were looking for her at all. There was no way she could have been involved, they said. Also, they expressed concern because they had no idea where she was.
Froze, my body just numb. And we couldn't sleep, we cannot eat. We just like a dream. I mean, you wake up and say, it cannot happen.
Declaring her only a person of interest in her ex-boyfriend's murder, law enforcement issued a public plea for assistance in locating Melanie. Meanwhile, they checked traffic cameras for captures of her license plate, and they received a few hits. It seems that Melanie had driven through the night to Maryland. Learning that Melanie had an uncle and cousins in the state, officers there were dispatched to check for her vehicle near.
Yo, so you telling me she fled from Florida all the way to Maryland over? Yeah, this bitch crazy. Call it like I see it. She is crazy. You just killed somebody. And you got, what? To drive all from Florida to Maryland overnight? Lil John Delulu. What you think?
I don't know right now.
See, like, I ain't trying to jump to conclusions.
Uncle and
What? Like, it's not. Is it jumping to conclusions when? Why your phone is on the scene, right? You already had been stalking and harassing, right? Then, not only that, you fled the state right afterwards. Why? If you're innocent.
True.
So you still ain't got nothing to...
I said true. Let me get more information.
Oh, she don't want to jump to conclusion. I'm like, I don't want to jump to conclusion. Can I get me sat there? Oh, no.
Cousins in the state, officers there were dispatched to check for her vehicle near to her relative's address. They found it.
Oh shit, it's here. I see it. Is it? Hold on. Yes, it's here. Come here. Hold on. Call Sarge now. Let me call her.
Maryland officers were not involved in the homicide investigation. Their instructions were to locate, verify, and take possession of the Toyota Corolla, ostensibly due to unpaid tolls. Their next step was to confirm that Melanie Eam was inside the house and not at risk of harm or of leaving.
We're just concerned about her. We gotta call.
All right, I'm sitting at Sherwood for unrelated reasons. So
unfortunately,
the one of the units wants to break off. I can serve the backup if needed.
Like they have to take the tag or something like that, so we're gonna tow the vehicle.
I guess you're curious about what's going on.
What is the? I mean, what is?
No, so right now all it is like I said, we got a call to check the welfare of guests of is Melanie. Melanie's here, so they just said, hey, some stuff happened. Pretty much, family got concerned. They just wanted us to come and make sure she's fine, like in the right state of mind and everything like that. So, is it cool if she comes out and talks to us real briefly? Like I said, we just need to make sure everything is fine with her emotionally.
I don't know if we're going to talk, but maybe you can see her. I'll just let her come right here.
I mean, is it cool if we go in? Like I said, it's just to make sure physically she's fine is all. That's it. Or if she doesn't want us to come in, if she comes to come out. Okay, that works. Hey, do what you got to do, Monk. I appreciate it.
Melanie did not appear surprised to exit the house and encounter the officers. She seemed to know why they were there. The officers, however, were clearly not as well informed.
Hi, Melanie.
We got called to make sure that you're okay. We got some people concerned about you in this work or something. So,
400, I'm driving. I'm going to head that way till I hear further.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Okay.
We just made to check you.
So we'll come back and knock on your door, Monk, and give you all the information. You have any questions for us, Melanie?
I'm just wondering, when should I go in for the questioning?
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, we haven't been told.
You still ain't got nothing? She crazy.
I'm just,
she crazy.
She come off. She off. She off in the head for sure.
All right.
Well, anything like I said, we just wanted us to talk to you about, make sure physically and emotionally you were fine is all. Okay. You have any other questions for us? What's going on, Melanie?
I'm just scared.
Okay. What are you scared about? Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Well, like I said, we'll be right back. If you have any further questions for us, like I said, we'll be back to knock on the door. If anything comes up in between that time, please don't hesitate to ask us or let us know what's going on. Okay?
Thank you.
Why are you looking at me like that for? They're not aware that it was a homicide.
Oh, so they don't even know.
No, they don't know.
So they literally just got the call for a welfare check.
Welfare checking is basically get eyes on her, make sure she's there, and confiscate.
To get the car.
Yeah, confiscate the vehicle.
So that they can examine. Do they?
Yeah. Well, confiscate the vehicle. She can't flee.
Well, yeah, that too.
But also to lay eyes on her, but they're not aware that she has murdered someone.
Yeah.
That's why she said, when do I go in for questioning?
Yeah.
They're like, questioning for what? We don't know what you done.
Okay. I got you. Let's go.
Detective Oliver of Palm Beach County traveled to Maryland to meet with Melanie. Her cousin allowed him and a colleague into the home. At that time, he pressed record on his cell phone. The detective's stated intention was not to arrest the teenager, only to take her statement. For this reason, she was not read her Miranda rights.
Would I be provided with the lawyer if I say anything?
Are you going to be? We're not going to provide you with one. You're just going to come to the station and talk to me. We're just going to talk to you. We're going to bring you right back. You're not under arrest.
Detective Oliver offered to speak with Melanie at the kitchen table in her uncle's home. Two of her cousins were present.
Basically, everything shows that you just drove over there with the intention of killing James, which is really bad. But if it's something like heat of that moment, passion, you were trying to defend yourself, this is your opportunity, because you're not going to get another opportunity, most likely. This is your opportunity right now.
With the family dog whimpering in the background, Melanie explained that she went over to James's house that night just to speak with him. He was breaking up with her, but she didn't believe that he no longer loved her.
And then on the chat, he said he wanted to speak in person.
Okay.
So I went over there. I wanted to speak with him.
What put you over the edge, you think? Just because he broke your heart, I'm guessing.
I felt like it was going to strike.
When you used the knife on him, was your intention just to kind of scare him? Or you didn't want to kill him, did you? Just tell me that you didn't want to kill him.
No, I didn't mean to. When I went off, I thought he would be okay.
She told Detective Oliver that she had taken the knife from the drawer in the kitchen. She knew.
Without reading her Miranda rights, y'all can't use none of that.
No. Why wouldn't y'all? Why would you be like, you're not under arrest, but you're sitting here basically getting a confession from her? You're asking all the questions that you would ask someone that...
If there was an interrogation.
Yeah, so why not just wait or read her rights? Do it, just follow protocol. Or regardless, I'd rather be on the safe side. Because I want this to stick. Don't you want justice for James? I would think. Right? But, okay.
Told Detective Oliver that she had taken the knife from the drawer in the kitchen. She knew where all the cutlery and other cooking utensils were kept. Before she ran from the house, she tossed the knife away somewhere in the room. More than once, Melanie indicated that she had not realized how severely James had been injured. She thought he'd be okay and didn't think it was that much. Though she knew enough to run, she drove to Maryland, stopping only at a Walmart on the way to purchase a new cell phone. She also knew not to return to the scene to collect the one she had left there.
Oh, wow.
Melanie was eventually extradited to Florida, where she was held without bond, awaiting trial. She faced charges of manslaughter and second-degree murder. She pleaded not guilty.
It was a horrific crime, but right now we're going forward in terms of the justice part of the equation. And I'm glad that Melanie is in jail without bond at this stage of the game so we can move forward.
Melanie's attorney, Bruce Lear, promptly filed a motion to have her recorded confession removed from the evidence at trial. Lear argued that common sense proved that the confession offered by Melanie to Detective Oliver was based upon his words and not hers. She had been guided to confess by the predetermined conclusions the detective had made about the case, that she was a rejected girlfriend who stabbed James to death in an angry rage.
I'm saying that my client gave an alleged confession in violation of her constitutional rights, and therefore should be suppressed.
The state countered that no rights were read because Melanie was not under arrest. She was told multiple times that this was the case, and at no time did anyone in the house ask the detectives to leave. At the end of the interview, Detective Oliver asked if Melanie had been comfortable with the conversation. She responded positively.
Did you feel like uncomfortable talking to me?
No, actually, it's very comfortable.
Okay.
Oh, more comfortable than I expected.
Okay. Yeah, you know, we try not to disrespect. We try to make it as comfortable as possible. And
attempts to have the confession suppressed failed. Melanie Eom stood trial in the autumn of 2018. Her defense team came out swinging with a new theory of the crime. From the moment responders arrived on scene, the defense said the finger was pointed at Melanie. This was an unusual and flawed approach to the investigation, considering 3 adults were found with the victim in a house where all the doors had been locked before 10 p.m. Lear accused Nicola Berry's boyfriend, Guy Hand, of committing the murder. Then, staging the cell phone to frame his client, and otherwise covering up evidence. He argued that Melanie had been in the house at the time of the murder. The shirt she had been wearing that night tested positive for James's blood on the cuff of the right sleeve. Blood was similarly found on the gear shift of her Corolla, a car that was spotted parked out front of the house that night. This evidence was explained by her presence there as a witness. Indeed, they argued that she had been in the room and watched as Guy attacked James. Then she ran from the scene in fear of what she had just witnessed.
The evidence will show that Guy Hand, for some reason, took a Valium that night before he went to bed. It will show that he picked up the bloody knife, well aware, and he'll admit he was aware that that knife had been used to kill this young man. He picks it up and he takes it to the kitchen and leaves it next to the sink. That's as far as he got at that point with it. Destroyed the evidence. His background? He was a butcher.
Well, if he was a butcher, also, I don't think he would have, in a manner of the way he killed him, would have had to. I think he would have killed him, like, sliced him better.
And of everyone who was in the house at that time, the mother of the deceased, the best friend of the deceased, and Guy Hand is the one who's saying, she did it, she did it, she did it. Right from the start. Your common sense will tell you who inflicted those mortal wounds. Melanie Eve was so horribly frightened by seeing the stabbing of her boyfriend right in front of her eyes by someone that she got in her car and she drove like a bat out of hell and went to a family member in Maryland.
Guy Hand was a key witness for the prosecution. He testified that he took half a Valium that night at roughly 9:30 p.m. before going to bed because he had napped earlier in the day and was concerned that he would not sleep. The drug had been prescribed to him. Nicola wore earplugs to bed. These circumstances likely impacted how quickly they awoke following the chaos and noise of the attack. When they did awake, it was to screams from Jeff, calling out frantically for someone to call 911.
911, something, it was startled.
And at that point, is it loud enough that you wake up?
Oh, yes.
At that point in time, are you still in bed when you hear the noise?
Yes.
Is Nicola still in bed at the time that you're hearing this noise?
Yes.
What?
That's another question. I'm like, all right, so where was the crime happened? Where was the best friend actually at?
Yeah, that's why I was like, where was the best friend at? Was he like sleeping on the couch?
He would have been like
in the room?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if he would be the first person to hear the commotion, but I don't know.
Was he still up?
I would like to know his position in the house when the attack happened.
I just wondered where he was at and like did he hear anything or like how long was his response before he heard it, anything.
Is Nicola still in bed at the time that you're hearing this noise?
Yes.
What do you do once you hear the noise?
Jump out of bed. I see Jeff. He's screaming, dial 911 or help or something. And I see James sitting on the floor kind of up against the bed.
And you say sitting. Is he in a proper seated position?
Kind of slumped.
With the help of Jeff, James was lifted onto the bed and laid flat to receive CPR. Guy teared up in court, telling the jury about the moment that he realized, while trying to render aid, that it was too late.
Now, at this point, so even though it wasn't helping you, you continued to try to help James?
Yes.
Was there a point where you could see that feelings that you lost?
I watched the light come out of his eyes.
Guy spotted the knife at the end of the bed. Admittedly, without thinking, as responders rushed into the room, he picked up the knife and carried it into the kitchen.
I picked up the knife with these two fingers and walked it down the hall and laid it on the counter by the trash can, just so no one would kick it and cut their toes.
Upon cross-examination, Guy was pressured by attorney Lear. Was it not his knife that was used to kill James? Why would he have picked it up and moved it from the scene? When law enforcement documented the scene, they photographed a kitchen towel sitting next to the weapon. Had Guy used that towel to wipe it clean?
You left the murder scene at the request of the police carrying a butcher knife.
I wasn't carrying it like that, no.
Were you carrying it?
Yes.
Guy was also questioned about his choice to partially wash one of his hands at the scene before being photographed by police. Handed water by an officer to drink, he had used it to wash his left hand.
So you were outside, about to be questioned by the police. You had already moved the murder weapon, and you now decided to wash your hand, correct?
Guy Hand also testified that throughout his life, he had received CPR training an estimated 10 to 15 times. For this reason, he took over from Jeff when he came upon the scene that night. During his cross-examination, Guy was asked why he had failed at the most basic principles of CPR. Crucially, the necessity of laying the patient flat on a hard surface. According to his own testimony, James was already collapsed on the
The way he had him on the bed, when they picked him up and placed him on the bed.
Yeah. I was just like, in my head, I was just like, oh, to put him like on the floor.
Yeah, I thought about that, but I was like,
but
you never know how people would respond in a panic
in
situation.
a situation. And we always say, shoulda, woulda, coulda, like what you would have done, but you're not in that situation. You're not like frantic. There's a lot, like what I'm saying?
You don't
like,
have clear thought.
You're not,
Especially, it's in your home. It's your stepson.
And then you like were asleep, and you like it's a lot, and then you wake up from all this chaos that's going on, and so. Yeah, you don't know how you will like actually respond to things for real.
Shit, sometimes shit just go out your head, just
a hard surface. According to his own testimony, James was already collapsed on the floor. Why choose to lift him onto the plush bed? Guy's response was as one would expect. He was in shock. He was traumatized. He did the best he could.
Did you have any reason to harm Mr. James there?
No, I love you.
Did you, on the morning of November 17, 2016, did you stab and kill James there?
No, I did not.
I do not. Any further questions?
Nicola Berry and Jeff Jarzbakowski's accounts of the evening aligned with Guy Hand's testimony. Jeff did not see Melanie attack his friend. He heard James calling to him. He was warning his friend to run from the danger. Jeff testified that as James collapsed on the floor, he witnessed Guy rushing from the other bedroom and pushing his way in to help.
At the time that you saw Guy Hand coming out of the bedroom, did he have blood all over him?
No.
Did he appear as if he had just woken up?
Yes.
Nicola told the jury that Guy was in the bed alongside her when she awoke that night to Jeff's calls for help. Although she was not in the room as Guy performed CPR, she did leave the house alongside him when responders entered. At that time, she watched Guy grab the knife from the room. She witnessed him drop it on the counter. At no point did she see him try to wipe it down or otherwise try to clean it. Melanie Eam chose not to take the stand in her defense. The state closed their case by emphasizing the hurt and anger that Melanie had expressed over her breakup with James, admitting to Detective Oliver that she was heartbroken. Her pain was so bad that it felt as though her heart would stop, so she decided to stop his as well.
November 16th of 2016, James Berry broke Melanie Eam's heart And so she, a few hours later, came to his home and stabbed him right above his heart, in his chest. Stabbed him. And she did it. And then immediately after she did it, she fled. So she tells Detective Oliver in that statement of her own details, where she got the knife, the fact that it was from the drawer, that James ran off. She didn't chase him, but James ran off. Trying to save his own life, ran off for help. And that's when he started screaming to Jeff, and that's when she hustled out.
The defense continued to argue that Guy Hand flagrantly committed a twisted, bloody murder and then successfully pinned the blame on the innocent and traumatized Melanie Eam.
CPR trained. Does it on the bed. Nicola Berry wearing earplugs. And he locked all the doors before he went to sleep. These are facts you cannot just ignore. You can't just ignore that with, what did the ME's medical examiner say? 8 slices, 10 slices, double blood vessels? Where's the blood if the occupant of this sweater is the one who did it?
The jury deliberated for a total of 10 hours before returning to the judge and insisting that they were deadlocked. It was not a matter of guilty versus not guilty, however, but a disagreement over the application of the charges. Of the 6-person jury, 4 jurors voted to convict her of second-degree murder with a weapon, while 2 thought she committed the lesser offense of manslaughter. In Florida, a conviction of second-degree murder requires intent, while manslaughter is the result of recklessness or negligence.
I mean, I get it. I understand, but bro.
Oh, so that's Florida.
Yes.
Still has to be some type of intent. Okay. So.
But the intent was.
I'll say this. In my eyes, it's second degree. One, he never told her to come over there. She said to the officer he told her to come over there. He never told her to come over there because he expressed to her, I can't explain my feelings in person. I do it better over text because he can write it down. Mm-hmm. He can write his emotions out more than verbally speak out his feelings and emotions. So it's easier for him to do it that way. If he tells you that, why would he invite you over if I'm actively trying to break up? Especially after you've been seen over here stalking. Another concern I have is how did she get in the house, though?
Maybe that door wasn't locked. Maybe you thought you locked it.
True, because he obviously tired. He had to, even though he took a nap earlier, he was tired. He's like, I need to take me some medication to be able to properly go to sleep. So he probably thought he locked all the major doors, but didn't lock. 9 times out of 10, she checked all doors. Or did she break in through the garage? Who knows?
She could have. Who knows?
But I think she went over there with the intent to harm. So by that, you intend to kill. Because even though...
So you say you think it's second degree?
Yeah. What you think it is? What you going, manslaughter?
No.
What
you going manslaughter? What
you going, first degree? First degree is hard to prove.
I know it's hard.
It's the hardest one to prove.
But for me,
I always say, hey,
look for
me. I'd rather get you on second than first.
Okay, well, it's second for me then. But for me, it's actually first because he don't want to talk to you. What you going over there for? You already heartbroken. You know where the knife is. You go straight to a knife, and then she
went with intent.
You went with intent.
Intent to harm, but I don't know. I don't know about full kill.
Okay, just know you harm me. You stabbing me in my chest near my heart.
There's potential of death.
You're trying to kill me. You trying to take me out.
So that's still, to me, that's still second degree.
Okay, well, we can agree with second degree since those are the charges.
I don't think manslaughter is.
No, it's second degree then. Well, what we confused about?
First degree is one of the ones that is
yeah, I know.
So many people have got away with murder because they decide to try them at first degree and no other murder and no other level of murder, and they get off. Some cases literally
I know
be
first
second
degree is very.
Some cases
tricky.
literally be second-degree murder, but they push first because they want that life sentence.
Yeah.
I'd rather get some type of conviction than none, especially for the family.
While manslaughter is the result of recklessness or negligence. The judge declared a mistrial.
Damn.
And a new jury would be selected and tasked with again trying to make this distinction. When the retrial commenced in January 2019, the defense's tactics in theory had not changed, nor had the foundation of the prosecution's case. Included in the defense's argument was the assertion that through the course of the attack, the knife had been jammed so hard that the blade had been bent. Was it not more likely that this pointed to an adult male killer and not a 90-pound female?
Man.
The state, conversely, leaned into the confession. Why, if you have just witnessed a murder in which you took no part, would you not mention who the real killer is to police when questioned? Or even hint that you were a witness, not the killer? Instead, Melanie offered details of committing the murder. When asked how many times she stabbed James, she had replied, "It's not like I was counting."
More than once? She says yes. That's what she says on the tape. And ladies and gentlemen, because she's not counting how many times she stabs him, does not negate her guilt, doesn't negate her intent. If you actually listen to what she said, it's not like I was counting how many times it actually hit. She is just continuously trying to stab him. Not even paying attention if it hits, just going at it again and again. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the act of second-degree murder. Because at that time, she has so much hatred for him. She has so much hatred for him. And a depraved mind at the time that she's acting like this.
Melanie stood emotionless while the verdict was read.
We find the jury finds us law. We find the defendant guilty of second-degree murder as contained in the information.
At Melanie's sentencing hearing, a clinical and forensic psychologist testified that she believed Melanie was a victim of long-term physical and sexual abuse at the hands of her mother. This was the first that such evidence was being presented in court. The prosecutor pointed out that the abuse was self-reported by Melanie and a cousin, but there have never been any social services or police reports to verify it. Judge Glenn Kelly said he considered a sentence of life in prison, though he had to also weigh other factors: her age, her lack of criminal history, and that the charge was in the second degree. Judge Glenn sentenced Melanie Eam to 50 years in prison. She will be over 70 years old when she is released.
We didn't think that we would really get life in this case, our gut feeling, but we are so pleased in terms of the 50 years that Judge Kelly handed down to Melanie Eam, because that is a lifetime. And she gets to think of what she did every single day when she wakes up inside those walls of the jail. You miss every single piece of him every single day. There's not a second that goes by that you're not thinking about his future, what he had, his potential, going to college, working, him having children down the road, and just everything in life is gone, has been taken away. That's the hardest part.
Do you want to say anything, Mom?
He was a good soul. He didn't have a mean bone in his body. He loved life. He loved his family. He loved his friends. He was very loyal. He loved animals. He was just an all perfect kid, a perfect son.
That's so sad.
And that was the tragic case of James Berry. Thank you for...
Wow.
R.I.P. James.
R.I.P. to James. And my condolences to his family.
Senseless acts.
For a breakup. I
at 19.
Man,
but
I don't be...
That's the... Want me to tell you the biggest problem?
I don't get it,
She
man.
went in dedicating too much of her to him. She molded her life to him. She didn't have no identity. Everything was centered around... Like, when they said she dropped out of school, and got her GED to follow behind him, you don't even know your own self no more, bro. Like,
That's a sad situation, but yeah, definitely rest in peace to James. Oh, Lord have mercy.
All right. But hey, man, y'all spam us up in the comments. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts about it for us in the comment section down below. But until next time, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ New Kid. This is. We are. We out.
Time to kick it, got a stack of flip for my folks. Dollar, 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 dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back on the